What's up, YouTube? This is my first trip to the West Coast Scale Trail. I didn't realize just quite how elaborate this place was, how busy it was, and just how much there is to do here. This really is paradise on earth. Coming up to the first trail, we have a nice little wooden bridge that kind of just welcomes you to what this park has to offer. Coming up here, little bit of a side hill, no big deal, but I was surprised on just how high up the truck is. I have the camera almost above my head at this point. Right here I'm unlocking the rear diff just to get a little bit more cornering out of the truck, using everything I can so I don't fall off the sides. I do have a Traxxas Under-drive kit in the rear diff to help with that cornering just a little bit. Just a 12% or so underdrive. As you can hear, I've locked all diffs now, coming up to the Eiffel Tower obstacle. Really neat, the decorations and the obstacles they have here. Finally getting some dirt on those brand new Proline Hyrax tires. That was the biggest reason why I came out here today, was really wanted to test out the new tires. Been rocking the Traxxas Canyons for a long time. Really happy and excited to get new ones. Got the Proline Dual stage foams installed as well. Now you can see this first obstacle here is already giving me grief. I really don't think the trail is meant to be going this way, but whatever. I decided it looked neat, so I wanted to try it. I'm really struggling with getting the body hooked on this fence here. It just seems whatever angle I go on, I get the body hooked. Finally, I think I'm free, and I've hooked the back bumper. Completely toe hooked myself. So, back up and throttle. Almost lost it. Quick recovery. This next little section right out of the pit that I fell into, not so difficult. A little bit of loose dirt, a little bit of protruding rocks, a little bit of roots. All in all, pretty neat little section of the course. Ready to move on to the next part. I did decide to go back down. I want to test out the drag brake on this Hobbywing Fusion Pro motor that I just put in as well. Now, seeing how big this course is, I decided it was a good idea to come into town, get a full tank of gas before I start the big part of the adventure. Now leaving town, onto the next part of the trail. Nice little easy rock obstacle to get out. No dramas here. Coming up this root structure, I do get a little high centered here, but I am able to back out, take a better angle, and sort out the rest of it. Again, really liking these Hyrax tires. They seem to have a lot more grip, a lot more stable with the dual stage foams in as well. Just able to fit through those two little trees there, and coming up to a bit of a steep incline on this rotten out log. Trying to find the angle is a little bit challenging here, as I'm not quite standing in the right position to see my front left, sorry. Little burp of throttle, able to get up and over. Coming up this little end of the log here, I unlock the diff just to get that little bit extra turning radius, and trying to line myself up for the next part of the trail. Again, no real dramas yet. Neat little section here, a little bit of loose dirt, a little bit of an incline, and a steep corner followed by a small drop. The Traxxas TRX4 is able to handle it flawlessly. Here I'm not really sure which way to go, but I feel like left was the correct choice. Really testing the crawlability of that Hobbywing Fusion Pro. Using that belly plate to slide over. A lot of interesting obstacles here. This little root structure looks a little bit easier than it actually was. That one root kept hooking me. I had to get just the right lineup to get over it. Here you'll see I'll just get those front wheels over and got a little lucky with the rear diff not getting caught. A little bit of throttle and was able to bump my way up. This little notched log turned out to be real interesting. Trying to hold that perfect straddling of the V as best I can. Trying to catch the little edge on the right so that I don't slip down. You'll see I lose the rear tire, but the fronts are holding straight, the backs are holding, and I've really maxed out the suspension travel of my truck here. Taking this little wooden rope bridge to get back on the bridge structure and find my next obstacle. I'm not really sure what these obstacles are called, but man, are they cool to drive over. Really testing the truck to its limit. If you're too top heavy at all, you're going to roll off. I would like to point out that this obstacle is over 6 feet off of the ground. So if you fall right or left, it's a 6-foot drop onto earth. Really a cool obstacle. Coming down to the next section of the trail, really just exploring. I really still have no idea where I'm going in this trail. Just whatever I see, deciding to drive over and follow. This little structure here seemed like a good place to start. So, I take this little wooden bridge, go down and see what the rest of the West Coast Scale Trail is all about. Coming up against the Halloween house, I was really surprised to see such intricate detail in all the things going around. Someone has put a lot of time and effort, and I really appreciate how they have everything laid out. And it's right about here where I realized just how massive this place is. It just goes on and on. So many interesting trails, so many interesting obstacles, just everywhere. A real spectacular place for a scale RC. Coming down this wood block, I really want to test the drag brake out. Really want to see if I have it set up to my liking. So far it seems to be pretty good. It holds steady. Just the slightest bit of throttle coming down this hill. Very controlled, very relaxed. No dramas at all. Really enjoying the motor ESC combo I have in here. Coming across this short right into a narrow little wooden bridge. Landing into some soft dirt. And then making the left to drop out. Almost lost it. This next little obstacle, the rock is a little bit slippy, trying to find traction, using the steering, using the throttle. I finally get the angle and make it up. Can't quite make the left in one go, forced to do a backup. Heading up the bridge once again, going up the way I came down, just to see what I can do for traction. This little wooden bridge is a lot steeper than I thought coming up, and I really struggled for traction. I did find later, if I hit it at a bit of an angle, I was able to just walk up it with no drama. This next little section looks brand new. Standing here, guys, it really smelled like they cut the wood for this that morning, and I could have been the first one to run on it. As you can see here, I've now come up with the rest of the pack, and I am now waiting my turn. Again, testing that drag brake, testing how slow I can go down an obstacle without losing control. Just the tiniest bit of throttle. Inch by inch, I make it. Those tires grabbing and performing wonderfully. As you can see, the TRX Bronco here is coming around and through a tunnel. I thought this was really neat, but I didn't quite realize just how hard of a corner and how hard it was to get into the tunnel. Alas, it's my turn. Coming around, making the sharp right, hitting the bumper, backing up, trying to get that angle that I need to enter in the tunnel. Bottoming out on the back bumper, reversing, back and forth multiple times. Here you can see I'm really torquing the truck, trying to get in and out, but I do finally find traction and the angle. Torquing it up again, able to push through, just scraping the hood, coming out the last section. An excellent obstacle, guys. Really top notch there. I really got to look into what these things are called, but man, are they neat. The TRX4 Bronco ahead of me does have a steel roof rack and is a little bit more top heavy than me, but he's still able to make it. Slowly but surely making the obstacle. Really appreciating that stiff inner foam of the Proline Dual foams here. Very little tire roll, but still soft enough to grab. Now this next part here is an extremely difficult right followed by a left.
No, come on. Come on, go up. Nope, I'm stopped. I can do this one.
Again.
Yeah, that's a definite. I'm gonna catch you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
I squashed that.
You can see just how high off the ground we are here. These obstacles are really risky. If they fall on the opposite side that you're on, you're falling 6-7 feet right onto earth. Just torquing the truck to its limit, pushing that servo as hard as I can, trying to find a line, trying to just wiggle myself in and find that perfect way to get up and over. Here I actually got a little bit lucky. This obstacle is really tough. Coming up off of the obstacle, we're heading now down the new section of bridge, ready to do the next one. Now the Bronco's going for round 2 here. Let's see how he does. Again, pushing the truck to the absolute limit with this one obstacle here. Again, neither of us have winches.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go.
What a fucking bump.
That's right.
As you can see, the Bronco, with the help of a little bump, was able to get up and actually was facing the perfect direction to carry on with the trail. Here I am flexing the Blazer as much as I can. I actually took this at a little bit of a rough angle. It's supposed to come more to the right, but I was able to go and complete it. Here I am going for another round at that tunnel. Again, guys, just a really fantastic obstacle here. Really neat. Really hard to get vision of where all your tires are. You're kind of guessing for the left side of the truck, but slowly but surely you can sort of get the feedback of what the truck's doing. How is it torquing? Is it still steering? Here I don't know how I didn't tip over, but somehow was able to just make it and squeeze through. Really pushing that steering servo to the absolute limit. In case you're wondering, I'm running the Traxxas 400 ounce, the red servo. Really liking it. Seems to be doing the job for me. I know a lot of people out there recommend other ones, but the Traxxas one really has lasted for me. Now coming up this little wooden bridge, really didn't expect to struggle with traction. Almost falling off. Getting the angle and getting back up. Here I'm hitting the slots at an angle, able to get a little more traction. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching.